still do 7 NUFC Matters shows for free a week. But if you want to support the channel, there are a few ways of doing it. Hit the like button on each live broadcast or video. This helps the channel grow. Hit the subscribe button and select the all notifications options. Hit the thanks button to buy a super sticker. You can do this on the live chat too. You can also join our Patreon page or buy us a coffee at the link in all of our video descriptions below. We are also looking for sponsors. If you want our latest advertising rates and how you can get involved, then email John at nufcmatters1892@gmail.com.
Hush now, city kids, gather round for urban myths. Hush now, city kids.
When it came to me after so long, I didn't have no choices in the streets where I was from. When I think about the pain, I didn't have no choices. I took what I had sworn.
Hush now, city kids, gather round for urban myths. Hush now, city kids.
But you know, the wouldn't let you have it any other way.
Good evening and welcome to NUFC Matters. It is the fans forum and welcome to the panel. We've got Kevin, Jeff, Tom, George, Alan, Magnus, got Barry as well. Now, we did have Darren and Pablo, but as the music was playing, the phone, which they had placed quite handily, looking at the King Power Stadium, suddenly dropped to the floor. Now, I'm not sure whether the phone is smashed or what, but nothing came on at all for about 10-15 seconds there. So hopefully they come back with us and hopefully the phone isn't smashed. Anyway, welcome along. Here they come. Let's see where they are. I want to get them on first because they are down. Yes, yeah, they are. Did you drop the phone, Pablo?
Well, do you know what? Listen to this technical difficulties, mate. We were trying to hang the phone on a fence. And unfortunately, the fence didn't want us to do it. Yeah.
Classic. Okay, well,
hey, tell you what,
on the fences,
we've already seen our first celebrity.
Don't tell us Adam Pearson again.
No, better than that. Mark Albrighton, the Premier League footballer himself.
Oh,
Albrighton.
wow.
All right.
Yeah.
And who?
You asked me to go forward. No, you're right, mate.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Let's just look ahead to the game with you two guys. I mean, you're down there. What's the atmosphere like? A bit early, of course. A couple of hours till kick off. But what have you been up to when you've got down to Leicester?
Everybody's been quite nice, to be fair. See, they keep saying that don't beat us too many. So Leicester fans are convinced they're getting hammered. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. So I'm confident I fancy 3-1. Isak's probably not playing up here. I don't know if it's true or not. Hasn't travelled.
That's the rumour.
So, but we're still good enough to beat them. So, but everybody's been quite nice, to be fair. Everybody's been polite and saying hello to us and good luck and don't beat us too many. That's what everybody's saying.
It's a lovely place, Leicester. I've been down many times. Not there tonight. Pablo, you've travelled down with Daz. You've had a look around as well. We've had some great photos from you guys. You've been at the rugby ground. You've paid your respects to the Leicester chairman who sadly passed away in that tragic helicopter crash. Some great photos, mate. And how are you feeling ahead of the big game tonight?
Good, confident. I'm probably not on the 3-1 scale, but I think a 2-0. I think a 2-0 probably for us.
Negative.
I'm not that. Yeah, well, yeah, I've gone.
Yeah, he's gone again. It's not the greatest of signals, unfortunately.
That's again, mate, but I can't.
You're back. You're gone. You're back. You've gone.
To me,
to you. Yeah, it's not worked out. We've got his prediction anyway. That's the main thing. We'll let them crack on. I'm sure they'll have a great night. And I know there's one or two others down there as well from NUFC Matters family. So have a great time, guys. And let's hope it's a convincing win. They are back again. We'll give them one more try. Okay, we've got your prediction there, Pablo. The internet signal's not the greatest. Did it drop again?
No, but now we've got it firmly placed on the fence because Darren's 6 foot odd and he can hold it up so we can speak.
Right, great. And there's the stadium behind you. Great stuff. So, yeah, you were saying you weren't as confident. You were going for a 2-0, Pablo.
Yeah, I'd say 2-0, being conservative. I'm more than happy with that. I don't think we'll be handing out any drubbings unless they really are as bad as what their fans say. But yeah, I'll just back up what Darren said. All the people here have been absolutely fantastic, coming up to us, speaking, honking horns. Beautiful.
Great stuff. Looks like a nice night down there as well. I mean, the rumours are circulating that Alexander Isak hasn't travelled. I don't really think that's as much of an issue as it would be. And I think if the logic behind it is that he's got a niggle and they've decided not to travel to keep him fit for Sunday against Manchester United, I would probably say that's the right decision, lads.
Yeah. Totally.
I'd say I don't know what to do. I mean, do you reckon he'll start Wilson up? If there's no Isak,
Yeah.
you think he'll go Wilson straight off the bat, or will he shuffle?
I'll start Sula. I'll start Sula tonight.
You would start Asula, yeah. I mean, look, Asula's certainly not had much game time. That's the only downside of it. But, you would imagine that because he is fit and because of his, because it's Leicester, I know we can't take anything for granted, but Callum Wilson should have more than enough in the engine if we can play to his strengths, which is not making him run, all over the place for the ball, play to his feet, put the ball in the box and create stuff for him, then, I think we could get away with it. Asula's a different option, of course, but yeah, I think so. Yeah. Tilly's on, Darren. I know you always like Tilly's comments. She says, "Why are you in a car park?"
Yes, I am, Tilly.
We just love car parks.
Love the car park.
We go away to car parks.
Right, lads, I'll let you go off and get some. Although you probably won't need any more food after the photograph you sent us of the food, lads.
Yeah,
you probably
full. It was nice, we're full.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, have a great time, lads. Thanks.
Cheers, boys.
Good luck, lads. Enjoy.
Great stuff. Good of them to do that. They've done that a couple
of
times.
Good luck, lads. Good luck.
And, fantastic. Great stuff. Okay, Magnus. So Newcastle are down at Leicester tonight. It is an 8 o'clock kickoff live on Sky Sports. 3,300 Geordies, including a few of our lot down there. And this is a huge game. Sven Botman, Lewis Hall, Jamal Lascelles all unavailable. Anthony Gordon's free from suspension. You would imagine Anthony Gordon's going to play tonight. Speaking on Friday, of course, at the press conference, Eddie Howe didn't give any specific updates. When does he ever? As to whether Isaac, Gordon, Joe Linton or Trippier would be fit enough to feature. Obviously, they've all got different ailments and niggles. As far as suspensions are concerned, we do know Joe Linton remains 1 booking away from a 2-game ban. Dan Burn is 2 bookings away from the same fate. Didn't have any updates on Leicester's team, but since the 2-2 draw with Brighton at the King Power in December, Leicester have lost all 7 Premier League home games, and they've conceded 18 goals, and they've scored a big fat 0. That's a barren scoring sequence, currently standing at 630 minutes. Tuesday, they got beat off Manchester City 2-0. That's the 7th consecutive Premier League loss, and it's 670 minutes since their most recent Premier League goal. Referee tonight's Rob Jones. It's his 2nd Newcastle game of the season. He took charge of the 2-1 Premier League home win over Spurs back in September. And on VAR, it's Alex Chilowich. So, Magnus, how are you feeling about tonight's game?
Well, if this is this statistics that you've just been reading up to me is not a reason to be optimistic, then I don't know what is. The gap between Premier League and Championship seems to be bigger than ever, and I mean there are 3 teams bouncing straight back down, and so it seems to be not so easy to thrive back in the Premier League like what we did in 2017. With regards to Leicester, I mean, everything has been playing in our hands. I mean, absolutely everybody at the weekend lost points above us, and I mean, I don't feel any need to be scared of Leicester City, and this is a great opportunity to cement ourselves in the 4th spot, which is where I forecasted us to finish this season. So I'm not even going to worry about this game. I did say forecast of 3-1, but given those numbers, it's probably going to be 3-0. You know, it's the way we are playing with our midfield, our front foot thinking. The best news we've seen lately is that Tino Livramento doesn't seem to be out of place whatsoever. He's dealt with the three best wingers in the league with Salah. It was Bowen and then Mbuemo. Mbuemo had no chance against him, and obviously he scored the goal, but that was for no fault of Tino. So I'm very optimistic for all areas of the field, and the only real big question for me is probably if Gordon plays, and then will we play Osula or will we play Wilson? Because I think right now Osula has done more minutes and is probably more capable of putting in a performance. So that is the big question for me.
Yeah, I mean, Steve's saying people are overconfident without Isak. It's a team game. We're not a one-man team. He does make a difference. But I still think Callum Wilson has got what it takes as long, and this is the key, as long as we play to his strengths. It's no good playing the same kind of game that we do when Isak's playing long balls into the channel and expecting Callum Wilson to be able to run and catch them. He can't do that now. We've got to get to we've got to get to the byline, get to the edge of the box, and be putting crosses in for Callum Wilson. That's what we've got to do. You've got to give him the service that he can feed off, I guess, Magnus.
And who better than Jacob Murphy for that? You know, he's been doing a stellar job in his assists and obviously putting a lot of goals in as well. But he's the perfect sort of crossing, reminding me a little bit of either Solano or Gillespie. You know, he's done a stellar job, and Darren is not here to silence me. But I mean, I can't praise the man enough. And yeah, if it was to be the case, then I'd expect crossing from. One thing also I saw, I mean, with Tino Livramento being on this. Being on the left side, he's got a lot better left foot than I realized. He's been throwing in crossings on his worst foot like nobody's business. Ending up in goals and very promising. So I'm optimistic it should be a 3-0 for me.
The beauty of this as well is that it's a social media rumor that Isak's not there. Isak might have travelled, on his own and may well have turned up. I wouldn't put it past Eddie Howe and the team to do that. So Sophie says she's read that Isak is fit to play. Yeah, it's a toss of the coin. I've seen some people saying that he is, some people he's saying he isn't, some people saying they'll delete their social media account if he plays and they've said he isn't. It's all the usual fun of the fair on Newcastle's social media. Roll up. Let's just wait till 7 o'clock when we actually know what the team is. There's also been a comment, Magnus, about your lighting. Would you care to explain what it's like in Iceland for you? You virtually live in not in a cave. You actually live in darkness for the best part of the year, don't you, where you live?
Yeah, I was speaking to Barry about it before we started. I mean, you guys changed your clocks now. I have to actually be pretty firm in getting back home because there's no point in changing the clocks here. Because right now it's just getting extremely bright, and we get the midnight sun. You should come and see it sometime. We get the midnight sun during our brightest days, and then. Yeah, it gets pretty dark. It gets down to 4 hours of daylight during our darkest month of December. Around the 22nd of December, we got only 4 hours of daylight. And people are a little bit less happy around that time, should I say. Hence the Christmas kind of kicks in there, and we try to sort it out with Christmas lights and gifts.
Good stuff. All right. What was your prediction then, Magnus?
Okay, it's I was going to say Penman, but I'm right back at 3-0 because Leicester doesn't seem to be scoring anything at all. And you had something about a museum, didn't you, on last Friday? Museum of ours. Did you see it? Remember that?
A museum?
Yeah. It came on one of your
Tweet
what
of
do
the
you call
week.
it? The memes.
Oh, one of the tweet of the weeks.
Tweet of the week, man. Yeah, you should come and visit the penis machine.
Oh, fantastic, Magnus. Yes.
It's very popular. Anybody should come and see it.
Yeah.
If you find yourself
Penis
here.
Museum, Steve.
Yeah.
I haven't been. I haven't actually been.
Uh,
But if you guys come here, I'll join you.
Okay, thanks, Magnus. I might give it a miss. Anyway, it's a bit cold for Iceland for that kind of thing. Alan, give us your take on tonight's game, mate.
Well, these are the games, lads, that I get really nervous about because everybody expects you to win and win well. So I'll be happy with 2-0. Even if it's 1-0, I'd be happy with, because these are the games that get me really worried, because it's just the fact that everybody expects you to win hands down, and if it's true Isa isn't playing, then it'll be harder still. But like you said, Steve, we're not a one-man band, and the record, like Magnus says, what you dished out before. After the night, we've got 5 at home, 3 away, and the results went our way. I mean, Aston Villa will be laughing because it went all their way this weekend. But we've got to make a statement win, lads. I would really like to win well. I hope I'm wrong, and we'll do win 3 or 4-0, because on a Chelsea podcast last night, they put the point of, is this the worst Premier League season of all time because of the standard? And I'll say it's just the most competitive season, in my opinion, because everybody's beaten each other. I mean, look at Fulham. They beat Liverpool. So they've taken 4 points. They've done a double over us. And everybody was condemning us for getting beat off them home and away. But just shows you how competitive this league is, apart from, obviously, Liverpool. But getting back to our game, I hope and pray that we'll win. And I'm going for 2-0. I think Tonali and I think Barnes will score, funny enough. I've got an instinct that he'll score. I think he'll play, and I think Gordon will be on the bench, Steve. I think personally, I think they'll take their time over the injuries. And I would like to see a Sula start, like Steve, to be honest with you, because I think Wilson's time's up, and these are decisions going further forward. I think in the summer it's going to be massive. And before the chat started, as Magnus said about, have we got a chance to win the league in 2 years? Certainly we've got a chance to win the league 2 years, because if you notice that, all the teams have got a massive rebuild, from Man City to Liverpool, Arsenal want a striker. So why don't we? The summer's going to be absolutely massive for all the teams in the top 6 or 7. But I do think it's going to be a 2-0 win tonight, lads, and I'll let George get on, and fingers crossed.
Okay, good stuff. Lots of good comments coming in the chat as well. Thanks for them. I'll stick them on the screen as usual. George, what's your feelings about tonight's game?
Silent treatment.
Slight delays with George. He is having internet issues, and
no.
Now that I've said that, he will start talking and then realise what I've said.
Misbehaving, Steve.
It is, unfortunately, George. It is misbehaving. Yep, we're going to have to take him out, kick him out, bring him back in. So, Tom, you are promoted. Give us your take on tonight's game.
Wow, got promoted in front of Barry. That's pretty big. I'm kind of excited, I have to say. You know what? I'd sit Gordon. He could have really cost the team when he got sent off. I know he got set for 3 games, but he's nursing a little injury. And I don't think Barnes did anything wrong. I thought he looked really, really good. Very proactive. I thought he tired. I can't see him playing the whole game, the 90 minutes. I think he was pretty much spent after 75. But I like Barnes in there, and I think that why not show Gordon that there's ramifications, not even from the league, but from the team when you make stupid mistakes like he made, which is maybe I'm a little harsh, but it's the way I feel about it. If Isak can't go, then I definitely do start Wilson. I know there's a lot of calls out there for Osula, but, Wilson is a proven goal scorer. He's not going to go 90 minutes. He can go 60, 70 minutes, and then you can bring Osula in to get a good 20, 25-minute run. Makes perfect sense to me. Especially when Gordon, who could play that role, right? We'll see how Barnes is doing, see how Murphy's doing, but that's an option as well, is to bring Gordon in up front. I think we're going to have a really strong game. I've seen some people talk about our midfield just going to dominate them. They will. I could see a lot of them taking some shots. So it'd be nice to see a couple goals from midfield. I think that would be fantastic. And I call it 3-0. And I'm saying I'm wearing my Tonali shirt. I'm going with Tonali after his strike. And I'm surprised no one mentioned it from last match. After that strike, which will, I think, be shown in the highlight films for years and years to come. That was a thing of beauty. Whether it was a cross or not, he's kind of modest. I don't know, but didn't look like a cross to me. I know Kevin said it was a cross, but you know what, Kevin? If I'm him, I say that was a freaking shot. That's where I was aiming. The goal looked about a football field wide, and that's where I was going. So
I'll claim it as well. I'm just saying it was a cross, but I'll claim it.
Eddie Howe defended him, didn't he? Eddie Howe said he practices these shots all the time. He was just being way too humble. Way too humble.
Oh, that was a thing of beauty. Anyway, 3-0, and Tonali's going to lead off the scoring today.
Okay, good stuff. George, give it a go again.
Okay, can you hear me?
We can. There's about a 10-second delay, George, but go for it.
No, sorry, Steve. It's just going crazy.
Okay, George, no problem. You've given it a try, mate. Maybe go back onto the other computer if you can hear us, and we'll have to put up with the crackling.
Well, just take us out, Steve. I'll just drop out.
Okay, mate. No worries.
All the best.
Yeah, unfortunately for George, technology's against him over the last couple of weeks. It's been a hard issue for him. I'm not sure what we can do for him, but we'll have to get somebody on the case, I think. Okay, Barry, thoughts on the game?
I'm looking forward to it. I think, like the guys have said, everybody's expecting us to go down there and absolutely hammer them, which I think we probably will do. I think for me, I wouldn't put Gordon back in. I'd give him. If he's anywhere near fit, have him on the bench, bring him on. But I think this is set up for Barnes. Barnes, if anybody knows this team inside out, and I think he's going to rip them apart. I think his ability and the way he's played the last few games. I'm not a betting person, Steve, but I was so tempted to put money, one, on Barnes to get a goal tonight, and two, to bet on Mr. Penman's 3-1. I've managed to stop myself from doing it because I didn't want to ruin it for everybody else, because I never usually win on anything. But I think it's going to be a good game. I think I know what Alan's saying. We have these games every now and again that creep around, and you think we're going to beat these. We did it against Brighton, and we were shocking Brentford when we got beat off them. We were expecting to hammer them, and we didn't get anything. But I think we'll have far too much for Leicester. I mean, going forward, I am disappointed if Isaac's not playing, but we have possibly more difficult games coming up. If he has got any sort of injury, I would save him for that, so I can understand it. I think Wilson will get us goals. It's exactly like you say, Steve. If they use him to his best ability and they play the game to get the best out of him, he will get us goals. But you can't expect him to do what Isaac does. He's not that type of player. I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be a good game, and I think I was a lot more nervous about the Brentford game because I thought that would be a lot more difficult to match because they've gotten the better of us on more than one occasion. So tonight, I think and obviously what can we expect with the two Pablo and Darren down there? We've got to win with them two in the crowd. Just God knows what sort of messages we'll get if they're getting beat.
I think they've got a good record as a way of travellers, companions together. I don't think they've seen a defeat anyway, so they've done well so far. Yeah. So yeah. So what was your prediction on this one, Barry?
I really want to go. I want to do a Penman and 3-1.
Okay, that's fair enough. Kev, what's your feelings about the Leicester game tonight?
It should be an easy win, but football doesn't work like that. So I think if we approach the game like we did against the Brentfords and the Liverpools and as a mentality, I think it'll be a comfortable win. But again, it all comes down to what's said in the changing room before the game and pre-game of the approach of the team. So with that said, you never know. We could break Leicester's duck for them getting a goal in however many games, not being a negative. But again, you just never know. But that's football again at the end of the day. But we have to be professional enough to not allow it to happen. We have to approach it like we're playing in the top 4 team or a top level side. For me, we have to control it. I think they're going to sit in, play on the counter attack, probably kick lumps out of us because they're fighting for their lives. In regards to the Isaac Gordon debate, I think it minimizes risk if you don't play them. You're just taking the risk out of the whole thing. And I'd rather keep them out of the side tonight and bring them on if needed, if on the bench or in the squad, because we have the players, plenty to probably have to give us a comfortable win. But again, like Barry said, we've got like a few bigger games in the Man Uniteds and the Villas. You don't want Isaac getting pulling the groin even further. Then that's another few weeks out or whatever, could end the season. Bring Gordon back in slowly. Because of the impact injury onto the hips, not fun. So he's got to, work his way back in. Harvey Barnes has done nothing wrong, so why drop him at the end of the day? Yes, Gordon's a great player, but Barnes has done absolutely nothing wrong in my opinion. But yeah, I think it should be a comfortable one. But again, if we control the game, control the tempo, control everything about what we do, I think we'll be. Having massive smiling faces on and continue this consistent run that we actually are on, which we need to do. But I think I got Darren's not on, like Magnus said, we don't get shut down when we say something when Darren's on. But that's 30 points and 10 wins. So again, these games is one where we have to go and win and get the 3 points out and be professional about it. I mean, I'll take a 1-0, but I said 3-0. I'll take long. I don't care what the result is.
Yeah.
I don't care who scores. 3 points is what we need to get up into 5th and really push on again and really challenge.
Yeah, definitely need a win tonight. George, we'll go with you. I'll take you off mute. I know it's a bit crackly on this other computer. Hopefully we'll be able to hear you.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, it's really crackly. In fact, it's worse than it's ever been. It's not your night tonight, George. It must be the internet.
Well, I've rebooted and everything, Steve, and it just, I mean, we talk for hours together and never have an issue, so I don't know why it's special at night. It could be the weather, of course.
Yeah, maybe. Go for it, George. I think most of our listeners are used to this kind of issue, so give us your views on the game tonight. We'll just go with it.
Well, the game tonight, I forecast 5-0 on Friday, and I'm not going to change my mind. Because that's where Leicester are at the moment, and we should go for the jugular. Shouldn't be hanging around if then button. We should go for the jugular. And if Isaac's not fit, then it's got to be Wilson. But I must say, like some of the lads, I'd like to see Yasula have a go because I get a distinct impression that he's bursting a gut to get on the team. And when he's with the others, you can see he's part of the squad. So I would unleash him unless there's a good place to think about doing it. But wait and see. And I agree with Kevin. I'd keep Anthony Gordon out of the way until Sunday, till he's really over his hurt and all the rest of it, and let him tear Manchester United apart on Sunday. So I'm still sticking with me 5-0. I wanted to talk about Wednesday. The first thing I noticed about Wednesday was how slow the ball was on Wednesday, and I now know why, because they didn't cut the grass. And they didn't cut the grass because Eddie wanted to slow Brentford down. And for me, it worked. It worked. There was the second bounce after they kicked off. Steve Hasty and I looked at each other and said, what's the matter with the ball? We thought maybe they'd watered the pitch. They hadn't watered the pitch, they just hadn't cut the grass. So it was a bit longer. And it showed when Bruno was trying to play the ball inside the fullback. He tried about 5 times and it never got there. Well, it didn't get there because the grass was that bit longer. So Eddie's been playing dark arts as well. So I think that's quite good from me. I think that's great. But as I say, don't sit back. Go for the jugular. Our midfield should carry it through because there's goals coming from there, and let's press on. But I would give Asula a run out if it was me.
Some great advice for you here, George, from you. I know, George, if you cover your PC with vegetable oil, it won't improve the reception, but it will slip into the bin easily. And Julie has put a request for you, George. She says, "Can George say exterminate, please?"
Exterminate.
Brilliant stuff. I think, George, as well, you want to say thank you to Jeff before we ask him about tonight's game.
Yeah, I tried to before we started. I got the passes, Jeff. Thank you very much indeed. That's very kind of you. And
My pleasure.
I'll get the bits and pieces to Steve and John when I see them. But thank you anyway. They know what they've got.
Thank you in advance, Jeff. Thank you.
All right.
Much appreciated, mate. Much appreciated. Give us your views, and Jeff, on the game coming up tonight.
Well, it's the ideal game to rest people, but it's a great game to get Wilson fit again. Mm-hmm. Get him the game time that he needs, because we keep complaining he hasn't had the game time. So get him out there, and certainly rest people. I'd like to big up Tunali's goal of the season, just in case anyone hasn't mentioned it. It was absolutely magnificent. I just love that. And while we're down there, it's a home game for Pete Davey. Mentioning he's a local Leicester lad, and I spent 4 years there learning to be a student. And I noticed that if we score 8, we can go 5th. So there's a thought. I'm not going to predict the score, but it's just if they get the time, 8 goals will get them 5th tonight, right? And we've still got a game in hand, so we're doing all right. And just to say, the solution to George's problem is get cable. It's the busiest time of the day. Everybody's on their phone, on their devices at 6 o'clock in the evening. It's a stupid time to put the program out, which means that all the circuits are really overloaded. So that, if we put this out at 3 a.m, we wouldn't have this problem, and it would help the guys in the States as well. I just want to say, I really hope, because we're living in difficult times, that Nigel Blancmange does not send Isaac home, because we'd then just be stuck with Kraft, who's named after a cheese product, so he can stay. And that's one for Pablo.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll enjoy that when he watches it back on his way home.
Yeah, he finds his way here.
Great stuff, Jeff. Wonderful stuff. We'll have a quick break. We'll be back after this.
A big thanks to all our sponsors, Skips and Bins. You can find them at their website, skipsandbins.com. Contact them, www.skipsandbins.com/contact. Say hello to low-cost waste disposal with pay-as-you-go and contract waste management. A big thanks to Mr. Vicky's Sauces, handmade in Cumbria. You can find them at their website, mrvickys.co.uk. Email them, info@mrvickys.co.uk, or telephone 01768 210 102. Thanks to our fanzine sponsor, United Group Travel. 3-star plus quality hotels, no interchanges, hot and cold snacks and drinks available on the coach, all excursions included. Their website, www.unitedgrouptravel.com. Email beverly.ugtl@gmail.com. Telephone 01670 632 460 or mobile 0791 666 4174. There are no strangers on our tours, just friends you haven't met yet, and it's just £30 per person deposit. A big thanks to Media Arts for all the technical side of things. You can find them at their website, media-arts.co.uk. And if you listen to us on podcast, you can find us at Sport Social Podcast Network. You can also find us on iTunes, Spotify, and other podcast providers. If you want to help the channel, you can subscribe to the channel. Just hit the subscribe button underneath this video, hit the thumb up, which is the like button, or join the channel. You can also visit our website, nufcmatterspodcast.co.uk, and take out a lifetime membership for £25, which gets you a pen, a badge, a key ring, a beer mat, a fridge magnet, and also your membership card and entry into the monthly draw. There's some Newcastle United events coming up. Friday the 23rd of January sees Chris Waddle and Peter Beardsley at the Tyne Theatre. Tickets available 0844 249 1000 or website tynetheatreandoperahouse.uk. Some summer events to come up as well. An evening with John Beresford takes place at the Crown Plaza on Friday the 25th of July, 7:30 till 10:30. Tickets by hitting that QR code. And NUFC Matters end of season party takes place on the 27th of June. Steve Howie and Steve Watson will be in attendance and will be hosted by Joe Allen at the Tyneside Irish Centre. Tickets available from nufcmatterspodcast.co.uk or by going onto Voucher. And we are raising money for Age UK North Tyneside Dementia. On Saturday the 9th of August, Northern Horizon, the Blake 7 convention takes place at the Tyneside Irish Centre. Tickets available from nufcmatterspodcast.co.uk. Come along and meet the likes of Jan Chappell, Sally Navette, Brian Croucher, and Sasha Mitchell. Don't forget as well, we have limited edition copies of The Entertainers signed by Peter Beardsley and Lee Clark. Available now from newcastlelegends.com.
And fresh off Lee Ryder's Twitter, Alexander Isak arriving at Leicester. So it seems there's been a little bit of skullduggery going on by various parties at Newcastle United, and fair play to them. Why not keep everybody guessing about whether your main striker is going to make it or not? But Lee Ryder posting that 2 minutes ago just to confirm that Alexander Isak has arrived at Leicester. Is he going to play? Wait and see, I guess. We'll know soon enough. Magnus, I know you want to shoot off after this, so got you there, and you've got to, obviously got to get off the show. So I want to talk about Fabian Shaw. He's got another year at Newcastle United. Is that a good thing for us to give Fabian Shaw another year's contract? I mean, we've already had to award the likes of Dan Burn contractually another year. Are you happy to see the likes of Dan Burn? Is there anybody else you'd like to see offered a contract from what you would call the older players? Would you like to see Trippier maybe get a contract? Callum Wilson falls into that category, of course. A lot of people talking about him potentially being a third striker if we can bring another striker in. But Fabian Shaw, are you happy about that? And is there anybody else in the over 30s club who you would offer a contract?
Yeah, with regards to Fabian Shaw, I mean, he's just proved, especially Steve Bruce, what a player he always was, and I think he's walked through dark alleys with us, and it's the best value for money we've ever had. I think for $3.5 million. I think I remember being excited when he was signed because. I'd been seeing him. I think it was either Euros or the World Cup. I don't remember which one it was. And I thought it was a bargain from the start. So I really didn't understand why he was not being played when Steve Bruce was running the show. But then again, there was a lot of things that I didn't understand when he was running the show. I think he deserves a contract extension. Regardless if we get a new right-footed sort of centre-back in, he'll have to study from him. I want to bring him on in as an apprentice to learn from him because he carries the ball forward. He passes it great, and correct me if I'm wrong. I think he's got about 14 goals for us. I think he's done enough for a 1 year extension, and also not to forget he left the national team. He's not giving himself out to be an international player anymore. So I always think that's a big respectable thing. I liked it when Alan Shearer did it. It means he's got his full focus on Newcastle United, and I'm happy to see him get a contract extension. With regards to the other ones, I mean, Dan Burn, obviously, it needs to stay there for a little bit longer. That's for sure. I mean, he's having the time of his life. He's gone through absolutely everything a footballer can go through, and he's made it right to the top, winning titles and being selected. So if his contract is running out, I would like to secure him till at least 35. And with Wilson, I think you know my answer there. I want to shake things up and get a new striker. So we got them lined up, about 3 Icelanders waiting to get the chance to wear black and white. But then again, there's lots of other nationalities. I don't only look at the Icelandic players, but I know them the best. So I think I love Callum Wilson. He's done a wonderful job. I think this is the end of the road when it comes to him. So Trippier, I wouldn't be upset if he got another year. And leave it at that. Offer him maybe to become a coach. I think he's got a leadership. He's a future manager, for sure. I don't know what road he will take, but he's definitely, for me, a potential of. With his leadership, he should never walk away from football altogether.
Great stuff, Magnus, and always good to hear you get in a plug for an Icelandic player in your Monday chat. I know you've got to go ahead. Thanks very much. Hopefully, we'll catch up with you again next Monday, mate.
Take care, Magnus.
See you, Magnus.
Yeah, I'll see you soon, man. My boy is about to hold hands and walk as a mascot to walk my local team players onto the pitch. So all the best. Thanks for having me on, and take care until next time.
Take care,
Magnus. Enjoy.
Bye-bye. Great stuff. Great lad, Magnus. Always good to have him on. Look forward to meeting him when he comes to the UK. Alan, Fabian Shaw, new contract. What about everybody else? Anybody else who you think might deserve one?
Basically, what Magnus says, really copy and paste, really, Steve. I think Wilson's days are numbered. I do. We've got to start to be hard now, like Steve. We've got the oldest squad that's won the League Cup for a long, long time. The age has got to be dropped. There's got to be some hard decisions in the summer with different players that some will probably not want to leave. I'll give Shaw a 1 year, but on the proviso that, if he's got it, that he may not be first choice. I do believe we need a new centre-half in. Wilson's days are gone for me. Because realistically, lads, how much money are we going to get off these players anyway? We're not going to get any money off them if we sold them. Trippier took the words out of my mouth, what Magnus says. I'd love him to stay as more of a coach than an actual first-team regular, because I think you've got to allow Little and Hall to be first-team regulars now. They're the future. You've got to look forward always in football. I know we've won a trophy and it's fantastic, but, big decisions on Sean Longstaff and Willock going forward this season in the summer. Obviously, I'm drifting from Shaw, Steve, if you don't mind us saying.
Of course.
There's a lot of big decisions to be made, because we've got to turn over money, lads. This gap of, we've only had a turnover of 324 million this year. Tottenham, who are, way ahead of us on turnover. Yes, they've had a rubbish season, but they'll come again. Man United will come again with their turnover. And unfortunately, whether we like it or not, the games always has been run by money, and the big turnover to close the gap. And going back to the question of winning the league, if we want to be serious contenders to win the league, lads, we must increase our turnover and trade. So, yes, for now, Steve, I'm happy. Yes, again, Dan Burn, but under the proviso they're not automatic choices for first team next season. To be honest with you, we've got to start getting better players in than we've got now.
Okay, Tom, it's a controversial question, really, but it's one which, you're now talking about players who've just won the cup. They're winners. They're at the top of their game. So, Fabian Shaw getting a 1 year deal. I don't think that's the daftest thing in Newcastle United's recent decisions. But what do you think, Tom? And is there anybody else you'd like to see stay?
Well, it's controversial because I disagree with you, Magnus and Alan. I think that if you're going to have your bottom 5 players on your squad players, you want young, hungry people that have low wages so you can spend the wages somewhere else. The hardest part is, for any player, yet alone coach, is when do the legs go? Shark, every time he played 2 matches in a week, his second match was just horrible because his legs are going. So I like Shar. I like Trips. I like Wilson. I wouldn't sign any of them. I would get younger and improve the squad for the starters. Love for what they do. I agree 100% with Trips. He's a leader. He could be a coach. Could he be a player coach? Yeah, but not on his wages, because his wages could get you a really nice player. Wilson's wages could get you a really nice player today. So I think this squad needs to get younger. I think it needs to get a little bit more athletic. And I think that we could invest those player wages to spots that would really make a difference on the team, whether that's at the center back position, whether that's the right-sided midfield position, whether that's for that first or second striker, depending on how Eddie wants to organize the team. So I think it's controversial, but I'm being a little bit more callous, saying, you know what? We need this team to get younger, more athletic. Thank the players for all their service. They'll be legends in this town forever. But we need to move on.
Well said, Tom. Well said.
Yeah, that's what the fans forum's all about. It's about opinions, and everyone's got different opinions. Jeff, what's yours on this?
Well, I'm going to be controversial as well, because we're looking at playing in more competitions next year. We need a bigger squad. And I'd like to see Shah kept on. If he only plays 1 game a week or 1 game a month, we need that depth in the squad.
Yeah.
I'd like to see people like Trips become a coach, become our shithousery coach. He's one of the best in the business at shithousery. That could be his role. I mean, ultimately, I'd like to see Isaac become our attacking coach. That's the sort of culture I'm looking for. That why are these people? They're not going to end their career at Accrington Stanley. These are
Accrington Stanley. Who are they?
Accrington Stanley. Accrington, yeah.
No, Jeff, you were supposed to say exactly.
Exactly. Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. I messed up the script again. Sorry, we'll check on that.
What?
And the last thing I'd like to say is to Pablo and all the guys across the pond there. I was very excited by the JFK files being released. I thought, at last, we're going to get the bottom of what Joe Kinnear's been up to. But
excellent. Great stuff, Jeff, as always. Starting 11, well, there you go. It's unchanged. So I think
that's typical.
It's a lesson learned, I think, for most people on the internet. But don't believe the ITKs on Twitter. That rumour flying around completely wrong, and it is an unchanged team from Newcastle United. And I tell you, Leicester City won't be happy seeing that tonight. And if they're firing on all cylinders, this could be a comprehensive result tonight. Let's hope it is. George, what do you think about Fabian Shaw getting the getting the new contract? And is there anybody else you would give one to?
I think Tom hit the nail on the head. We've got to make our mind up where we're going. Yes, I want Trips to stay as a coach, but he's not going to stay as a coach at 200 and whatever quid a week. It just isn't going to happen. So I agree with what Tom said about that. I'd love Fabian Shaw to stay just that little bit longer. I don't think it's any secret he's one of my favourites. I mean, how many centre-backs have got 52 goals on their CV? He has. And some of them have been for us and they've been fantastic. And I, again, agree with Tom. It may be that his time on the pitch needs to be managed more carefully. And if we're busy in cups and Europe, then he gets on now and again. Maybe we'll save him for Europe or whatever, so he frightens the Continentals with his attacks forward. I think it was not surprising Dan Burn got back on, but I wonder how much Thomas Tuchel had to do with that, with sort of announcing that he sees him as a World Cup player. My God, that even shook me. But no, I wouldn't be looking too far, because we need to move on, and this is the window where it should start.
Yeah.
I firmly believe this window will see a lot of changes. I understand we're talking, so I hear on my rumour mill, that we're talking to young defenders in Italy at the moment, and if that's right, well, good on you. You know, I don't want the farce that we had with the Crystal Palace centre back again. He should be gone out the window. I don't care if he's played for England or not. But yeah, we need to move on and see some young blood through the spine of the team, actually. And I think if we're getting the new goalkeeper in the summer, that's great too, because I think Nick Pope showed on Wednesday night he's still got an error in him, and you know that's right through the spine of the team, and build on the stronger younger ones that's already in the team. So I firmly see. I think there's some surprising changes in the summer, and somebody talked about Longstaff and people like that. Well, you know, nothing would give me greater pleasure than to see Sean Longstaff in the team for a long time, but he's not going to be. Sean Longstaff's reached where he's going to go, and we wish him well wherever he goes after us. But there's going to be some serious thinking to do in the summer, and I think with our current manager, he'll do it.
Yeah, well done, George. You got through the show as well. The internet's a lot better. When it's on that computer, George, just for your own personal information, it takes about 10 or 15 minutes and then it clears. So that one does work and work better, but it's just the initial setup for some reason doesn't seem to work.
So the sound's all right now.
Clear as a bell, George.
Clear as a bell now, George.
Well, you see, the picture's great as well, which is why I come on here. See, the internet on here is better as well. That new EHP is the one that sometimes works and doesn't. This is an old Dell that I bought years ago in the university, or for a contract I had in the university, and it works better than two. But the crackling's gone now.
Yeah, never buy anything off a guy called Dell. No Anthony Gordon on the bench tonight. We have got Dubravka, Ruddy, Wilson, Target. So Target's back. Kraft, Asula, Longstaff, Miley, and Neve on the bench. So no Anthony
I think
Gordon.
the Gordon thing's sensible to me. I think Kevin said it. He needs to be well. Get rid of that impact injury he's had before he starts running around.
Yeah. Okay. Well said, George. No need to drag people down when they've given their all, says Les. Seems like a software problem, George, says Steve Middlemas. But maybe Steve Hasty can pop round at some point and have a look at it. Barry, your take on Fabian Shaw?
I'm probably going to get into bother, but I think back to some of the comments that this panel made about Shaw's performances this season. The number of weeks where we said he was making mistakes, he was too slow. The two of them together were letting us down because they were getting ripped apart. Just for me, it was a choice to keep one or the other. I would never choose Shaw over Byrne. So I would have given Byrne the new contract. I would have let Shaw go. Trippier will want a new contract. He'll want one last payday, which he deserves because he can still do a job for somebody. So I think he'll go. Wilson, I wouldn't touch with a barge pole. I think we're going to be lucky if we get him through at the end of the season. I think he's finished, certainly at this level. And this, like Tom said, this is our chance for a mass clear out. Yeah. We have got a large number of players that I would be happy if, including Pope, including Dubravka, including the other 16 goalkeepers we've got. I'll be glad to see the back of Lloyd Kelly because I think he was a waste of space in the first place, personally. I agree with George. I'm gutted that Longstaff will go because I like him. He's a Geordie lad, but I think he's not at the level that we want to be. I don't think Asala is going to be the answer up front, so I think we need at least two more strikers. I desperately, Steve, want to see Alex Murphy come back into the team. I think that kid's a future star. And I would rather have him, Byrne, Botman, and plus one other, which means Lascelles needs to go as well as our future defence. Have Byrne as the oldest one out of the four, but we need three who are in their 20s. And we need to like the guys have said, we need to strengthen. If we want Champions League football, do you honestly want to be playing Fabian Schär and Dan Burn in the Champions League if something happened to Botman? Nothing against their ability, but their pace-wise just isn't there. This is our chance. A couple of them said in the chat that we really struggle to get rid of players. Well, now is the chance to get rid because their contracts are ending. Mm-hmm. You know, we've still got the likes of Isaac Hayden hanging on in the background, who's been there since Pussy was a kitten. You know, he's been there as long as I've supported Newcastle. It feels like it's just. But we have this, including Eddie Howe, have this mentality where he likes certain players and he'll keep those players, and he'll run on with it. But we should be investing big time. We've invested in young'uns that are in the under-23s. Now's the time to invest in the first-team squad. And we have a lot of players, like Tom said, who are on high wages. Wilson, Trips, Target. I would get shot at Target. I don't think he's ever going to get past the likes of Livramento and Hall. Get shot, bring a young'un in on lower wages. And I think now's the time to do it. But it's whether or not... whether Mitchell's earned his money. I am desperately waiting to see whether in the summer he's going to have gotten his finger out and he'll have deals lined up. Because please don't let us be sitting here on deadline day going, oh, we're going to sign somebody because we need a big transfer window this summer. Please, Mr. Mitchell, if you're going to sign anybody, make sure it's within the first 2 or 3 days of the transfer window. Didn't ask about like we normally do.
Yeah, definitely, Barry. Definitely.
Final word to you tonight, Kev.
As always. No, I agree with what the lad said, but, you know, I'm sitting on the fence with a lot of players, essentially. You know, I agree with the Fabi Schär one. I think he brings a bit of experience in terms of international football. Whatever European competition we'll land, and he'd bring that experience into that and manage his minutes across the season. I would say, like the Trippiers, the Wilsons, etc., races run. I don't say Kieran Trippier as a coach. I see him more of he needs to get onto that pathway to be one. Yes, he's got the leadership qualities. He's got all them traits and tangibles what you need. But I don't know if he's done anything within the coaching realm or whatever. But I know who has, and I've watched it, and that's Dan Burn. He's doing his UEFA B license right now with the kids. And I watched the video quite closely because obviously that's what I do. And I can see him finishing his career there at the club and going into that coaching role as like the U18, 16, somewhere in that level, because he brings that experience. He brings that leadership. He brings all those traits and he's a local lad coaching at the club. So that would be another massive coup, if you will, to bring him into the coaching setup somewhere down the road, even get involved with the 23s within his last year of a contract to be involved somehow, way, shape or form. So, you know, like the lads have said, it's going to be a massive summer, like a clear out, you know, it's not a rebuild, but it's just a get rid of the dead wood, essentially, who are not at that level of potential Champions League football, even Europa League football. I mean, that's changed massively since we were in it, and even over the past 18 months, it's changed again. It's more difficult, it's more competitive, there's more games. And I agree with Tom in terms of the age. I think it will have to really look at our policy of age, and I think Mitchell's done that already. We're bringing young European talent in, but for me, I would like to see young English local talent coming through the door. I believe that obviously they're working hard behind the scenes to try to do that and try and get all these young lads into the squads, etc., and even in first team training. But that would be my thing, to get the young, again, promote the city, to promote the club, and the Carabao Cup does that. So hopefully you might see the next Rui Miley, the Sean Longstaffs of the world who've been through the academy process, and that's what needs to happen. And again, like I said, if you've got a local lad in Dan Burn in the setup, and he could be that talisman, if you will, within the club, within the academy process, then that'll give every young lad and girl, by the way, to develop that side of the game to get into the first team. But yeah, like from the others, I think like the Trips of the world, Wilson's, they're done, they're gone. Thank you for your service. I appreciate every blade of grass that you've ran over. but you know, your race is run, in my opinion. So yeah, but it's going to be an interesting summer, and it's going to be an exciting one. But again, Mitchell's going to literally pull his finger out and do his job now. At this point, I think he would be already doing that from the January transfer window, or even pre that, and looking into the summer window. So hopefully it'll be a youthful, but again, like Barry said, get the business done early, because that's what Eddie Howe likes, and get them integrated into the team. Because if it's late, then you're going to be running. You're not going to be seeing them for another month until they get Eddie Howe fit, or the way we want to play fit. There's a lot of caveats to it all, but hopefully Mitchell will do his job and earn his paycheck.
Yeah. Great show tonight. Thank you to Magnus. Thank you to Pablo and to Daz, to Kevin, to Barry, to George, to Jeff, to Toonman Tom, and to Alan Thompson. Thanks to you in the chat. I'm back tomorrow, 2:00 in the afternoon with Sid and Rob. Take care. Enjoy the game.
Good to see you, lads. Good to see you, lads.
Guys.